Chapter 36. With a spoon. "You going to dig your way out with a spoon?" asked Jack. The boy couldn't believe his ears. "You want to dig a tunnel all the way past the wall there with a spoon?" "Yes, Bunting," replied Grandpa. "From the other side of the window bars. I will start up there tonight. I have to get up and away in my Spitfire quick smart. As soon as you go, I will steal myself down to the cellar and begin scraping away at the stone floor." Jack didn't want to burst his grandfather's bubble, but it was clear the old man's plan was doomed. It would take years just to dig through the cellar floor, especially using only a spoon. It wasn't even a particularly big spoon. "Did you remember the tins?" continued the old man. Jack reached into his coat pocket and passed out 2 old baked bean cans through the gap. "Of course, sir. What are you going to use them for?" asked the boy. "Buckets, Bunting, buckets! Fill them with all the earth I will dig out with the spoons, and then pass them out the tunnel on a trolley system." "So that's what the string is for." "That's right, squadron leader. Do keep up. What are you going to do with all the soil?" This is the devilish clever bit, old boy. "That's what the socks are for." "The socks? I don't follow you, sir," said the boy, as he reached into his pocket and pulled out a jumble of his dad's old socks. "This sock's got a hole in it," complained Grandpa, and he stopped to examine one. "Sorry, sir. I didn't know what you needed them for. I'll tell you, squadron leader. Once dawn breaks, and I've done my digging for the night," continued Grandpa, "I will pack all the soil into the socks. Then I will tie an elastic band at the top of each sock. I will conceal the sock of soil, or soil sock, as they will henceforth be known, down my trousers. Then I will make a request to the commandant that I be put on gardening duty." "The commandant?" The boy was baffled. "Yes, keep up. Runs this POW camp." "The matron," thought Jack. "Oh, of course, sir. Once at the flower beds, I'll make sure the guards aren't looking. I'll pull on the bands of the soil socks, and tally-ho, the soil is released. Then I will shuffle about like a penguin, treading it into the ground." To illustrate this particular part of the escape plan, Grandpa did a little penguin walk around his dormitory. "That still doesn't explain the tea tray and roller skates, sir," said Jack. "Getting there, Bunting. I will attach the roller skates to the bottom of the tea tray and use it to travel backwards and forwards along the tunnel on my back." "Well, sir, you have certainly thought of everything." "It's genius, Bunting. Genius!" proclaimed Grandpa a little too loudly. "You must be careful not to wake them all, sir," whispered the boy, indicating to the row of sleeping old men in the dormitory. "A bomb couldn't wake this lot up, old boy. Those sleeping pills the guards give us could knock out a rhino. My fellow prisoners of war are only awake for less than an hour each day. Quick bowl of watery soup and straight back to bed." "So this is where all the smarties come in," guessed the boy. "Correct, squadron leader. There are only so many of those darn pills that I can conceal in my moustache. The commandant has become very suspicious." "Really, sir?" "Yes. Wants to know why I'm so more awake than the others. So the guards have doubled my dose and watch me like hawks when I'm giving them. So I plan to break into the pharmacy they have here and exchange my pills for sweets. Cut them off at the supply. Then there is no problem with me swallowing them. In fact, I'm rather partial to the odd smartie." Jack had to hand it to his grandfather. This was a brilliant and daring plan. But from the narrow ledge where he was standing, the boy looked out across the grounds of Twilight Towers. The perimeter wall was at least 100 metres away. It was going to take the old man a lifetime to dig all the way, especially armed with nothing more than a spoon, some old socks and a tea tray with a pair of roller skates attached to the bottom of it. Grandpa didn't have a lifetime left. Jack was going to have to help him, but he had no idea how. Chapter 37. Something dark, something creepy. It was a Sunday, the day of which my matron permitted the visiting hours to Twilight Towers, which wasn't even an hour. It was 15 minutes, 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. And as Jack had found out, if you tried to see your family member at any other time, the nurses would escort you off the premises. The family sat in silence in the car for most of the journey there. In the driving seat, Jack's father stared straight ahead, not saying a word. From the back seat, the boy glimpsed Dad's eyes in the rear-view mirror. They were misted with tears. In the passenger seat, Jack's mother kept on, babbling away to fill the silence. She used second-hand phrases people use when they try to convince themselves of something they know is not true. Phrases like, "It's for the best," and "I imagine he's in a much happier place than he was at home." And even, "In time, I'm sure he'll learn to love it here." The boy had to bite his tongue. His parents had no idea. He has made 2 secret visits to Twilight Towers already. But although he didn't think they would believe his suspicions about this terrible place, Jack hoped that when he actually visited Twilight Towers, they might begin to see things his way. When the car lurched up the metal gates, Dad stepped out to open them, suddenly having a flashback to the electric shock he received before. Jack blurted out, "Just ring the bell." His father looked puzzled, but did what the boy said. Slowly the gates whirred open. With Dad back into the car, they drove inside. The worn tyres slipped on the gravel as the car reeled to one side. Twilight Towers loomed into view. "Well, it looks very, nice," said Mum, as soon as the car had stopped outside the front door. Dad turned off the engine. Jack's ears pricked up. He could hear music coming from the home. Immediately he recognised the tune. It was the Birdie song. A song so annoying, once inside your head, it would never leave. The instrumental record had recently been a huge #1 hit. The song had been played over and over again at every wedding, party and children's birthday up and down the country. The Birdie song screamed, "Fun, fun, fun." But it wasn't fun. It was torture. To Jack's surprise, Matron bounded out the front door, sporting a paper hat. "Welcome, welcome, welcome," she said in a jolly tone that sat as awkwardly with her as the ridiculous hat did on her head. Miss Swine's eyes swivelled over to the boy. Without his parents noticing, she glared at him. The intent was clear. Make any trouble, and there would be trouble. Come in, come in." Matron ushered the family through the front doors. The first thing Jack spotted with his eagle eyes was a notice on the wall, half hidden behind some party decorations. It read, "Rules of Twilight Towers. By order of Matron, Miss Swine. All personal items such as jewellery, watches, valuables, etc. to be handed into the matron's office upon arrival. The nurses are highly trained professionals and must be obeyed at all times. Silence. Do not speak unless being spoken to. Do not complain about the tea. We know it tastes like someone's bathwater that has been peed in. That's because it is. Lights out at 5 p.m. sharp. Anyone caught still up after that hour will be put on toilet cleaning duties and armed only with a toothbrush. Bath time is the first Monday of the month. The bath water is to be shared by all residents. Radiators to be kept kept switched off at all times. If you are cold, you can jump up and down for a little bit. Any cakes, biscuits, chocolates, etc. brought in by visitors should be handed over to the nurse immediately. 1 piece of toilet paper only to be shared on each visit to the lavatory. This is for number 2s as well as number 1s. You must take your pills. If you fail to take your pills, every single person in your dormitory will be punished for all eternity. Whistling or humming is absolutely forbidden. 1 bedpoint per dorm. Please do not ask for more. All meals you are given, however rancid, must be eaten. Any scraps left over will be served up to you at the next mealtime. You are not to look Matron in the eye or talk to her directly. Pyjamas and night dresses to be worn day and night. You are not to leave the premises at any time. Anyone who does try and leave will be chained to their bed. If you have a complaint, please write it down and put it in the complaint box. The box is emptied every Friday afternoon and the contents burned. Have a lovely stay." Mum didn't see the sign. She just saw the balloons and coloured streamers that half obscured it. This prompted Mum to ask, "Oh, are you having a party today, Matron?" "Well, yes and no, Miss Bunting. It's party time all the time at Twilight Towers," lied Miss Swine. "Please come through the living room and join in all the fun." Jack noticed that fun was not a word Miss Swine found easy to say. In fact, she spat it out as if it were poison. It was a shame that neither Mum nor Dad seemed to see what an evil character this lady was. The birdie song was thankfully just finishing, but the moment it did, a burly nurse lifted the needle on the record player and it played again straight away. The living room was crowded with old folk and even more nurses. First sight, the elderly people appeared to be happily moving along to the music. "Isn't it wonderful, Barry?" said Mum. "All those oldies are having an absolute ball." Dad nodded his head slightly, but the man wasn't really listening. Instead, his eyes were scanning the room for his father. "Well, Mr. Bunting," began Miss Swine. "Call me Barbara or Babs for short," replied Mum. "Well, Babs," Matron began again, "I hate to blow my own trumpet, but everyone agrees what makes Twilight Towers so special is how happy all my old folk are. And I put that down to the fun atmosphere we have. We sure know how to party." Jack loathed the way this evil woman was weaseling her way into Mother's confidence. "Oh, one teeny weeny thing," said Matron abruptly. "Mr. Bunting." "Yes?" "Did you bring your father's will?" I asked. "That I asked for?" Oh, yes, Miss Swine. I have it right here." Dad reached into his inside pocket and passed her an envelope. Ding! So that's what Matron was up to in her office, thought Jack suddenly. Now he knew exactly what the evil woman was doing with the tracing paper. She was rewriting the old folks' will and forging their signatures at the bottom, doubtless so that she would become the sole heir to the fortunes. That explained the mysterious room full of treasures too. This was fraud on a grand scale. "Thank you. I just need to keep it here in my office for safekeeping." "Mum, Dad," cried Jack. He had to tell them, "Please be quiet for a moment, son. The nice matron is talking." Mum insisted. "Yes, you please keep it safe for us, matron," went on Dad. "Thank you so much." Looking around the room in desperation, suddenly the boy realised something else, something dark, something creepy, something so sinister it chilled him to the bone.